What if the profound breakthroughs you're seeking, whether it's in your spiritual journey, your leadership, or, simply understanding yourself better, aren't actually about accumulating more answers?
Hmm.
In a world just drowning in data, quick fixes, and this relentless pressure to have all the solutions, what if true spiritual growth isn't about collecting certainty,
Right.
but about mastering the art of asking the right questions?
That's such a powerful idea and often quite counterintuitive, isn't it? It's really what our deep dive unpacks
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
We've gone through, well, quite a stack of profound sources, and they all seem to point to what one author actually calls the quiet revolution of a question.
Oh, I like that. Quiet revolution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're going to explore why questions often matter infinitely more than answers in our spiritual formation, how we lead, and just how we genuinely grow as people.
Okay.
Our mission today, really, is to distill why this perspective is so transformative. We'll look at it biblically, theologically, and practically, too.
It's a truly disruptive idea, though, isn't it?
It really is, especially when our culture just champions solution dispensing. I mean, we're so used to bullet point emails, instant answers from search engines.
Quick fixes for everything.
Exactly. Quick fixes for every problem.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to dive into how Jesus himself modeled this with, frankly, breathtaking intentionality,
Mm-hmm.
and how this ancient wisdom can literally transform everyday conversations into something truly profound, deeply formative.
Okay, so let's really lean into this then.
Yeah,
We are conditioned, aren't we, to equate growth with just accumulating information.
totally. Knowledge is power, answers are currency, that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Right. It's like spiritual growth becomes this cognitive exercise, just a bucket to fill with facts and doctrines.
But our sources really challenge that
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah. What's truly fascinating here is how, in our collective rush for certainty, for those immediate solutions,
Mhm.
we've largely forgotten what some call the sacred art of asking.
Yeah.
Our attention spans have shrunk, skepticism about simple formulas is rising, and as one source puts it, those cookie-cutter discipleship models, the
Oh,
kind.
yeah. The ones emphasizing rote memory over real wrestling.
Exactly. Those are rapidly losing their grip on people's hearts. People aren't connecting with that anymore.
And the cost.
Yeah.
Well, the cost of overlooking this subtle yet pivotal shift
Yeah.
is immense, actually.
It really is.
We end up with hearts that are just disengaged, transformation that feels maybe shallow or just performative.
Yeah, like you're just going through the motions.
Right. And a missed universe of opportunities for truly life-changing encounters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tragedy, really, when you think about it.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you'll see the Bible itself isn't just a manual of answers.
Okay.
Our source is really highlighted as a dynamic, unfolding, divine-human conversation.
A conversation.
Yes. And what's particularly striking is how many of the most pivotal moments in that grand narrative are defined not by declarative statements or commands from God,
Uh-huh.
but by profound questions.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think, and maybe counterintuitive for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Even God, the omniscient, all-knowing creator, asks questions.
It's true.
Take the very first divine question recorded, Genesis 3.9. Where are you?
Right.
And our sources emphasize this wasn't a GPS query. God wasn't lost.
No, he knew exactly where they were physically.
Precisely. Instead, they interpret it as the very genesis of human self-awareness, of moral accountability within that divine human dialogue.
An invitation.
Yeah, an invitation to confession, a pathway to relationship, not condemnation. It called Adam and Eve to confront their own hiding.
Exactly. And that pattern just continues, doesn't it?
It does.
Think about Elijah. After his huge triumph on Mount Carmel, he flees into the wilderness, totally despairing.
Yeah, he's terrified.
And God meets him in a cave, not with a sharp rebuke, like, what are you doing? But
Yeah.
with this gentle, probing question in 1 Kings 19.9. What are you doing here, Elijah?
So gentle.
And our sources meticulously unpack this. It's seen as this tender opening for self-reflection, for redirection, a kind of divine spaciousness, allowing Elijah to process his fear, his grief.
It's remarkable, too, that God met him not in the wind or the earthquake or the fire,
No, the big flashy stuff.
but in that still small voice.
Yeah.
And then the question.
Yeah. The quiet encounter precedes the inquiry.
Or consider Isaiah 6, verse 8, when God says, whom shall I send and who will go for us?
Right.
Our sources point out this isn't a divine command like, you go.
No, it's not a draft notice.
Exactly. It's an invitation for active participation, a
Mhm.
call for a voluntary yes.
It powerfully emphasizes that God seeks our availability, our willingness, maybe more than just raw talent or prepackaged abilities.
It's relational and offering,
It really is. And then in Exodus 4.2, God asks Moses, "What is that in your hand?"
which of course God knew. It was a shepherd's staff.
Of course he knew. But our sources reveal that by prompting Moses to articulate the obvious, God enabled him to grasp his own identity, his purpose, transforming that self-doubt into a vibrant divine calling. It kind of externalized Moses' internal resource, right? Preparing him to see the miraculous in the mundane.
It's truly astounding when you look at the pattern, isn't it?
It really is.
Jesus asked over 300 questions in the Gospels,
Over 300.
and yet he directly answered fewer than 10.
Amazing.
Our sources highlight this as a deliberate, strategic approach. He wasn't about offering quick fixes. He was all about catalyzing deep internal transformation.
That's such a crucial distinction. Christ-like questioning, as our sources explain it, functions like a surgical instrument for the soul.
Vertical instrument.
Yeah, it aims to destabilize what they sometimes call the false self, that persona we build up from external pressures, insecurities, cultural stuff,
Mask.
to awaken the true self, our authentic identity shaped by divine love and truth. His questions exposed idols, they revealed nascent faith, they unveiled deep, often unacknowledged longing.
Okay, so let's look at some examples of this surgical precision you're talking about. When Jesus asked Bartimaeus, the blind beggar, "What do you want me to do for you?" in Mark 10.51. That wasn't for information, was it?
No, not at all. Our sources highlight this wasn't just a question of participation, dignifying Bartimaeus' longing, but it was also a radical subversion of the Roman client-patron dynamics of that day.
How so?
Well, Jesus was challenging conventional power structures, empowering the marginalized. It was actually deeply provocative for its time.
Interesting. And he asked the same question of James and John.
He did, and they wanted power, position.
And it immediately exposed totally different hearts, didn't it?
Instantly. Same question, different revelation.
Wow. Or consider his question to the man paralyzed for 38 years at the pool of Bethesda in John 5.6. Do you want to get well?
Ooh, that one hits hard.
Yeah. It wasn't about his physical symptoms, was it?
No. Our sources argue it was a direct confrontation with his desire, his agency, his readiness, maybe, to let go of an identity that had been shaped by decades of illness.
So healing is more than just physical.
In this context, yes. It's presented as a calling to live into, a responsibility. And the challenging part is, maybe not everyone is ready for that profound shift.
Then there's that pivotal moment, Matthew 16.15, when Jesus asks, "Who do you say I am?"
The turning point.
Yeah. Our sources emphasize this question moved Peter beyond just hearsay or what everyone else thought,
Right, beyond the pole.
to a place of intensely personal conviction. It demanded an ownership of belief that could only come from within him.
And then later, after Peter's devastating 3 denial,
Wow.
Jesus asks him 3 times, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" John 21.
3 times.
Not a scolding, not demand for an apology even,
No.
but a sacred confrontation and recommissioning centered purely on love, transforming that deep shame into renewed strength.
And the sources note how Jesus even used Peter's old name, Simon, son of John.
Yeah, addressing the vulnerable man beneath that confident facade he usually presented. It's incredibly tender, actually.
He was a master at exposing hidden idols too, wasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Like with the rich young ruler in Mark 10.21.
Right.
When Jesus asked him, "What do you lack?" Well, our sources show Jesus already knew the man's wealth was his ultimate attachment, his idol.
So the question was targeted.
Surgically targeted,
Yeah.
precisely exposing the specific thing holding him captive.
And what about his boundary-breaking questions? I'm thinking John 4.7, the Samaritan woman.
"Will you give me a drink?"
Yes, that was revolutionary.
Totally. Our sources meticulously detail how Jesus deliberately crossed gender, ethnic, and moral boundaries with that simple request.
He conferred worth before any correction.
Exactly. It disarmed her, invited her into an authentic dialogue, and ultimately led to this profound revelation and powerful testimony for her whole community.
Amazing. And to challenge self-deception, he asked in Matthew 7.3, "Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye and ignore the log in your own?"
Classic. Our sources highlight how that just slices through self-righteousness, demanding internal examination, integrity. Not just moral commentary on everyone else. It's a question designed purely to foster humility.
Wow. So, okay, let's shift a bit. This raises an important question itself, really.
Yes.
From a robust theological standpoint, why do questions hold such immense significance? Why this emphasis?
That's a great question. Our sources suggest the question itself isn't a sign of, like, divine ignorance or weakness,
Okay.
but rather a reflection of profound divine patience, and it's a relational invitation.
So it's not a deficiency, but actually an attribute of God,
Yeah.
like patience.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the Trinitarian impulse, which our sources unpack quite beautifully.
Right. Father, Son, Spirit.
Exactly. At the heart of the universe is this eternal dialogical relationship, Father, Son, and Spirit in eternal communion. Questions then reflect that open-ended relational nature. They seek union participation, not dominance or just information extraction.
Makes sense.
And we, as humans, created in the very image of God. Well, we're hardwired not just to know, but to wonder, to inquire.
Ah, so curiosity isn't just idle.
No. Our sources argue that curiosity, when it's sanctified by love and guided by the Spirit, is actually a profound spiritual gift. It leads to this holy exploration of truth and reality, moving us beyond just superficial answers.
That's a crucial point. And it leads directly to this idea that real spiritual growth often mirrors the wilderness experience, doesn't it?
Yes, very much so. A place often defined by questions, not certainty.
Just like Israel wrestling with, is God with us or not? Or the psalmist crying out, how long, O Lord?
Exactly. Our sources emphasize that these questions are not signs of weak faith. Not at all.
Okay.
Instead, they are the fertile soil in which resilient faith takes root. Faith, they argue, is often forged right there in the crucible of the unanswered.
The crucible of the unanswered. I like that.
And that's why a truly meaningful question doesn't just engage your intellect.
Right.
It reaches into your memory, your emotions, your conscience, your imagination. It involves the whole person.
Which is why it leads to genuine holistic transformation, not just, ticking a box intellectually.
Precisely, not just intellectual assent.
So with all this powerful insight from our sources, what does this mean for us, practically speaking?
Yeah, the so what?
How do we take these deep truths and actually turn our everyday conversations or interactions into real opportunities for spiritual formation?
Okay, well, we can cultivate a lifestyle of intentional, spirit-attuned inquiry. That's the goal.
Spirit-attuned inquiry.
Okay. First, a key principle. Ask to uncover, not to corner.
Uncover, not corner. Got it.
The goal is to open doors for genuine connection and revelation, not to set traps or prove a point you've already decided on.
Right. So, for instance, instead of asking maybe, why don't you go to church anymore?
Yeah.
Which can feel accusatory.
Yeah, it puts people on the defensive.
You might ask something like, what's your experience of church been like throughout your life?
Yeah.
Much more open.
Exactly. And crucially, ask with genuine, holy curiosity.
Holy curiosity.
Yeah. Enter conversations with an authentic desire to learn from the other person, rather than just, waiting for your turn to teach or correct.
The model's humility, doesn't it?
Immensely. And our sources show it powerfully invites honesty.
Makes sense.
Also, try to ask in the Spirit, not just from the flesh or from your own agenda. Let the Holy Spirit guide your inquiry.
How does that work practically?
Well, the sources often remind us that the most impactful, most divinely appointed question is often the one you didn't even plan to ask. But you just felt prompted to in the moment. You sense it's the right question for that person right then.
Okay, so paying attention to those promptings.
Yes. And here's another vital principle. Ask yourself first.
Okay. Turn it inward.
Let questions do their profound work internally before you ever think of posing them to someone else. Regularly asking yourself, where am I hiding behind easy answers? Or what am I avoiding? Cultivates integrity and authenticity.
That's searching. And this next one feels so important. It may be countercultural today. Make room for silence.
Oh, absolutely critical.
After asking a powerful question, resist that urge we all have to immediately fill the void with more talk.
Yeah, we hate silence, don't we?
We do. But silence is often where the Spirit does its deepest work. It's hallowed ground.
It really is. Our sources shared a beautiful story about a mentor, Angela.
Okay.
She was talking with a young professional who was feeling really spiritually dry, disconnected. Instead of offering advice or solutions, Angela simply asked very gently, when did God stop feeling close to you?
Wow. Direct.
Yeah. And then She just waited. She held the silence.
Mhm.
The young professional teared up, sat in quiet reflection for a long moment, and then began to describe a specific season, years prior, that she hadn't consciously connected to her current struggle.
Ah,
That silence, that space the question created, was the catalyst for a profound awakening and eventually healing.
that's such a perfect illustration.
Mm.
Silence creating space for the spirit.
Exactly. And finally, when you ask, listen for the heart, not just the words.
Okay, unpack that.
Pay close attention to tone, hesitation, body language, and what's left unsaid. Our sources emphasize that what's not articulated often reveals deeper truths than the literal words spoken.
Like the classic, I'm fine.
Exactly. Think of the difference between someone saying, I'm fine, with a dismissive shrug, versus saying, I'm fine, with a deep sigh. The words are identical.
But the underlying reality is vastly different.
Completely. You have to listen beneath the surface.
And speaking of different realities, our sources outline different types of transformational questions that we can integrate.
Yes, useful categories to think about. First, we have reflective questions.
Okay.
These are designed to reveal the interior landscape of a person, helping them explore their own thoughts, feelings, assumptions.
Like an example.
Sure. Maybe something like, what are you truly afraid might happen if you let go of control in this situation? Helps them look inward.
Got it. Then there are disruptive questions. Sounds intense.
They can be. They're potent tools designed to challenge false narratives, limiting beliefs, or those pervasive cultural scripts we often unconsciously live by.
Okay, give me an example.
How about, what lie are you living, as if it were true, about yourself or about God? That can really stop someone in their tracks.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, what's next?
Next, constructive questions. These are more future-focused. They affirm a person's dignity, help them rekindle their true identity, and activate their purpose.
So, more hopeful.
Often, yes. An example could be, what would faithfulness look like today? Not perfection, but faithfulness in this particular challenge you're facing.
I like that. Focus on the next step.
Exactly. And discovery questions are all about awakening wonder and fostering a fresh encounter with God in the everyday.
Oh, okay.
A great example. Where have you sensed God's presence or leading in your life this week, even in small ways? It invites them to look for God's activity.
Nice. And the last type.
Finally, we have directional questions. These help guide the soul toward concrete transformation and identify the next steps in their journey.
So, moving towards action.
Right. For example, given what we've discussed, what's the next right thing you sense God is calling you to do, even if it feels small? Helps bridge insight to obedience.
Okay, that's a really helpful framework.
Yeah.
But we've explored the immense liberating power of questions. Like any powerful tool, though, there must be dangers, right?
Absolutely.
How can questions go wrong or even cause harm?
That's crucial to consider. Questions can certainly be misused, especially when they become superficial or manipulative.
Okay, tell me about superficial questions first.
Superficial questions are those that just scratch the surface, like asking, did you have your personal devotional time today?
Right, the checklist approach.
Exactly. They reduce spiritual inquiry to performance metrics instead of inviting a true spiritual opening, a real conversation of a relationship. God, as our sources constantly remind us, pursues intimacy, not just efficiency.
Good point. And then the manipulative ones.
Yeah, manipulative questions. These are asked to corner someone, to coerce them, or maybe just to confirm a narrative you've already decided on, bypassing their genuine consent. Imagine someone asking, maybe with a certain tone, don't you think God is clearly telling you to forgive them already?
Ooh, yeah. That feels loaded.
It is. These grieve the spirit because they attempt to control or shame. They claim to shepherd, but they're actually cornering the person. Jesus' opponents, remember, often use these kinds of questions to try and trap him.
Right, the Pharisees and Sadducees.
Exactly. Another common pitfall is the imbalance of truth and grace.
All right.
Our sources consistently emphasize that truth without grace-like saying bluntly, don't you know worrying is a sin?
Yeah.
Can just shut the soul down, make someone defensive or feel condemned.
Yeah. But what about the other way around?
Well, grace without truth, like maybe only ever asking, how do you feel about God right now? Without any deeper formative follow-up, even if someone is clearly drifting, that can lead to confusion or aimlessness. It can feel like validation without direction. The right balance protects a person's dignity while still gently exposing distortion or maybe spiritual apathy. It takes wisdom.
Finding that balance sounds key. So this isn't just theory then, or a theological parsing.
Not at all.
Living a question-shaped life, informed by all these insights, has really profound implications for every single part of our lives, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Our sources confirm that when we master the art of asking well, it fosters genuine ownership of faith and life, not just rote adherence to doctrine.
People take responsibility.
Yes, people gain clarity, they find deeper healing, and it begins to transform communities into what one author calls greenhouses for authentic spiritual flourishing.
Greenhouses. I like that image. Places where genuine growth can truly happen safely.
Exactly. Protected, nurtured growth.
And the beauty is we can integrate spirit-led questions into just daily life.
Oh, totally.
In parenting, maybe asking, what did you learn about perseverance today, even when it was hard, instead of just, how was school?
Great example. Or in leadership, asking which option aligns most deeply with your calling and values. Not just what's the most efficient.
Right, in mentoring, obviously. Or even in simple, everyday conversations with friends, asking something like, what's truly giving you life right now and what's draining it?
Yes. That approach turns routine interactions into potential moments of sacred space, of genuine connection.
Yeah, it elevates the conversation.
Ultimately, the right answer might change your mind for a moment.
Hmm.
But a spirit-led question, well asked and deeply considered, can absolutely change your life.
That's powerful. Jesus didn't give us rigid formulas or a checklist of rules, did he?
No, he gave us profound, liberating questions.
And he still asks us today, doesn't he? Whether it's that ancient echo of, where are you hiding?
Or that deeply personal, do you love me, after failure?
Yeah. So as you reflect on this deep dive, maybe you think, what question is God asking you right now?
Yeah.
Sit with it. Don't rush to answer it. Let it work on you, within you. Because in every question well asked by God or by us, you might just hear the echo of eternity.